Now with this, you just be chilling.
This is Zanaya.
Okay.
It's the righteous vigilante Jamon Creek, and you're tuning in to Minds Wide Open. Hey, yo, check it out. This is Namestream. Never mainstream. You're tuning in to Minds Wide Open Media.
Shout out to the Florida
Yeah,
Vibe
shit,
Directory.
this is like the
You're
intro,
now
yeah.
listening to the best playlist in South Florida.
Yes, sir. You already know what time it is, man. It's your boy, Gabe Bavelli. We back here with another episode of Florida Vibe Directory, but this is a very, very, very special episode, man. We got a special guest in the building. I don't even know where to start, man, so I'm going to go ahead and just let you introduce yourself to the people.
All right, I'm looking at this camera, right?
That's his, right, Luke? Yeah. Okay, that's
All right,
it.
cool. All right, I'm Alex. I'm the owner of The Den, creator of the Enter the Den show.
Yes, sir. How you feeling, my G? How was the drive over here?
Chilling, bro. I'm from Hollywood, so this is chilling.
Oh, shit, I didn't even know that. I
Yeah.
thought you were from, like, Pompano and shit. Damn, so let's
Pompano just happened to be a spot I found.
So
but
let's-
I'm born and raised Hollywood.
Damn. Let's take it there then, man. What's your early life like, man? How's growing up? I'm from Hollywood too, so
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, that's how I know Nick.
Oh, okay. So y'all went to
Hollywood.
school together?
Nah, church, bro.
Damn.
I grew up in a very, very religious household.
Damn. So like your peoples was strict,
My mom was strict. My dad is like
more chill.
very chill.
Damn. So how did like everything come about? Like how did you first fall in love with like hip hop music and like the culture and shit?
So to be honest, hip hop would be. I was probably about 8 years old or so. I was listening to. I don't even know what I was listening to be honest, but like, I can tell you one song that was definitely like my favorite because that one stuck with me. I don't know. I don't remember what their name was, but it was a song called Discovery Channel. It was like you and me, baby. Ain't
I know,
nothing.
yo, that video was wild too.
Yeah, so I saw the video to that. Like I would say like shit like that when I was a kid. I'd be like, "Yo, this is so cool," and then like that, like I'm Blue song and shit like that.
That
Like
shit
I
was
don't
a
know. I would just
banger.
listen to like I guess pop would be the category for that.
So you were watching like MTV and shit growing up.
Not even, bro. I didn't grow up with cable. It was just
Damn, no illegal cable.
Occasionally, my grandpa would like have cable. Cause I grew up in my grandpa's crib.
Yeah.
So occasionally he would get like random deals and have cable for a little bit, but that was about it. So it was
That's
like I grew up on like WB and
Straight
stuff. 'cause you ain't
WB,
need, like,
the CW and all that
yeah,
shit.
you ain't even need cable and all that back then.
That's
But like
facts.
WB, yeah, not even CW was like, I was probably like middle school, high school, and that was coming
yeah,
out.
me
so it
too,
was
me too,
like-
for sure.
But yeah, like I was listening to that, and then my cousin, me and all my cousins grew up in my grandparents' house. So like,
Okay.
one of my cousins was like, "Why do you listen to that whack shit? You need to start listening to rap. This, and that." And like, she was like on some big chonga shit,
Damn.
which is mad funny because she listens to only like country music now.
Damn.
But back then, she was like, "You need to start listening to this. You need to listen to Eminem and like all this stuff." And
Damn. So that's what she put you on was M.
yeah, well, the person she really put me onto was Ludacris.
Damn.
It was
underrated.
the Word of Mouth album. That shit, bro. She used to like, bro. Rollout was my shit. Like, bro, she used to have to kick me out. She'd like be in school and stuff, and I'd get there early, and I'd sneak in her room, and I'd play her like I put the CD in that bitch, and I would just roll out on repeat on the CD, bro. Just fucking on her shit, and they used to get pissed as fuck. Like, yo, can you play some other shit? I'm like, no, this song is so cool.
Dog, I'm telling
And then
you.
from there, everything just like
You just started
I
doing,
was just
doing
strictly
your research and shit.
rap and hip hop after that. Yeah.
Damn. So I know that you're an avid sneaker collector too. So like, when did you like first jump into like the kick game and start fucking with that? Like, what era are you?
I'd like to say, I mean, it's probably not, but I'd like to say kind of like that OG era of like where the culture was becoming a thing, or like it was, I guess,
The early SB era.
the early as mainstream, the underground scene of it could have gotten. Like I'm damn near 30 now. I was like 12 years old when I was like really, really getting into shoes, but I'm like on some like Foot Locker shit. But like when I was like 14 was like, I started like using the internet, and I'm like discovering SBs and finding out about all these collaborations and like all this shit. And it
What
was
a
just,
great time, man.
like on some floor that didn't have none of that. Like we had MIA skate shop, but it was like you really, really had to know about that.
And
shit.
you had to travel too, especially like as a jit, no whip or nothing. Bro.
So I'm like, I'm 14 and I go to like Aventura Mall. I see people like wear like De La Souls and shit, and instantly I'm like, yo, those are fake. Look at him wearing fake shoes. Cause it was like, where the fuck are you gonna get them
like
shits
how,
at?
Right?
It made no sense to me at all. So yeah, like the sneaker shit's like that's like always been my thing. Like sneakers and hip hop was like the whole shit.
So before you started like the Den, did you have like other aspirations yourself or like other plan for yourself?
As crazy as it is, as at 14-year-old me, my mom used to be like, you need to know what you're doing with your life. You're a teenager, you're starting high school, you need to know what you want to do with your life and
right.
I'm like, Mom, like especially like speaking on the whole like you couldn't find them sneakers and shit. Like Flight Club was a thing, but it was like ain't no one fucking paying Flight Club at right prices back then.
Or just for kicks or TCS or none of that shit.
So then I was just like, Mom, I'm gonna open a consignment shop. And she's like, what's a consignment shop?
Like,
she knew what a consignment
you had that
shop.
plan that early?
Yeah.
Damn.
So it's funny because like that was at 14, that was my dream. And then like as I started getting older, I'm like, I'm not gonna do all that. Like I don't know. I'm gonna figure life out and do all this other shit.
Damn.
And like it was just never a thing. And then slowly, yeah, I guess it became. It's not to the same extent of like what I was trying to do as a kid, but
I feel like with what you're doing,
it kind of came into.
You're kind of living out all your dreams with what you're doing. You know, because it's like if you had aspirations for music through the artists that you fuck with, you're able to put music out. You know, you're able to get your design bag off. You're able to get your event organizer bag off, and then still do your thing in the sneaker game. You know?
Nah, yeah, for sure. Cause like the Den did start with sneakers. I kind of faded from like the hype culture of it all. Like when this whole like dunk craze like happened. Cause like the Den, when I was first selling sneakers from the Den, it was like I was like flipping Vans and Dunks. Like, cause it was just I just be on the internet and I would just see someone I just need to get rid of a pair, and they would just like sell me all their Dunks. Like, bro, I be getting Dunks for like $40. And then,
Damn.
like if you look really deep on our Instagram, I'm selling you like Dunks for like $150 type shit, and like you look up those same Dunks now, it's like $2,000.
It's a wrap, right? Word.
Yeah, and I can't look at someone dead in the eye and be like, give me $2,000 for these sneakers.
Facts. I mean, unless it's some shit now, you know.
Nah, like I get it, but it's just I'm not paying that, and I can't look at someone in the eye and be like,
this is what you got to pay.
Yeah, you gonna give me a car note for this shit right now.
Facts. Now, what I really respect about what you guys do at the Den is one, like the creative way you guys use social media. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like when it comes to like memes, you guys are always very timely.
Yeah.
So like we're like,
shout
it's
out my
like,
boy Brandon. Brandon's the one that does all the memes and shit.
Bruh, the best meme though was the Scola cuts ties with Kanye one, bruh. That meme was hilarious.
Oh,
bro.
no, that was Scola. I didn't do that. That was Scola.
Damn.
Scola did that shit. That was all Scola. I didn't. He just randomly, he's like, yo, check my Instagram. And I was like, oh, shit.
That
you
shit
actually funny, Scola.
That was hilarious, bro. But, yeah, I feel you guys do use social media very well when it comes to that. But before we get too deep into that, man, let's, go back to the journey, man. So,
yeah.
After high school, you started flipping kicks. So then when did everything start becoming more serious?
So everything got real serious after I got what's that, 2016? Yeah, 2016, I went to Rhode Island to go to my cousin's baby shower. And then I land back from Rhode Island. I go to work. And then the police were like there waiting for me. And I was like, what the fuck? And I'm over there like, all right, whatever. Like, I was basically working at this sneaker store, like Aventura and shit. And like, I did a sneaker shit, but it was just for fun. Like, it was nothing like serious at all. And basically, like, they was accusing me of stealing like thousands of dollars worth
from the store.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
And it was just like this whole thing, and I was just like, I just didn't say nothing. I just stayed quiet. I'm like, all right. But basically, because I was flipping shit on the side, they had someone like with that, like they had some cyber guy like go into like their server and shit, because it was a slow store. So I used to like check my eBay, check all this shit. So they would check my eBay like feedback history. And like say like Nike Tech fleeces, that shit was like hot back then. Like 2016, everyone was wearing them shit.
Fact.
So I'd go to the outlets and I'd find the Tech fleece pants and I'd flip them, and then I'd sell them. So then Tech fleece just happened to be some of the shit that was going missing from their store.
Oh my goodness.
And it was like this whole shit like, can you explain this? And I'm like, nah. And they would just be like, oh, like this and that. And they would just ask me about shit. Like, I ain't gonna lie, like I took some shit, but it definitely was nothing that they accused me of, which was the craziest shit.
So you had to go like full in and get like a lawyer and all that?
Yeah, like on some, it was 15 felonies.
Damn.
Like it was bad, bro. It was like $22,000 worth of shit, and I was just like, I was like, all right, I'm about to take some shit, but I was like, I didn't know y'all was hitting me with this. It was me and my boy that hit with all that shit.
Damn.
So like we used to do photography for them. And they was like, they called me in the store, like from the store, like, hey, come to the office. We want to reinstate the photography because they stopped it for like a month. So we go there. They start asking me all these questions, trying to get me to like rat on my boy and shit. And I'm like,
but you didn't really do nothing. So
yeah,
it's like,
so I was just like, I don't know what y'all talking about.
Damn.
And then they're like showing me footage that doesn't add up. They're like, it says like we were dead from like these hours, but it looks like you had a sale. And I was like, that's a customer coming in, but they didn't leave with anything. I don't know what you're trying to accuse me of. So
Damn,
they literally had the fucking phone. They pulled it out and they started recording, like the audio recording. And I was just like, what the fuck? Like, bro, it was before they and I was like, all right, I'm mad confused right now.
Damn.
And then like the police show up and they're like, hey.
Same day?
Yeah, like.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, like I literally landed from Rhode Island. So I got locked up the 26th. The 25th, I landed from Rhode Island like at 9 p.m.
Damn.
I go to work my 9 o'clock shift. And at like 11 o'clock, they call me into the office, which is like a couple blocks away. So then I leave and I go to the office. And then next thing you know, I'm getting locked up.
Damn, dude. So, like, how long were you in there for?
It was just like 2 days. But like, shout out my stepdad for that shit. Because
you ended up.
Because, bro, that shit, like, the cop, you know, they could have been doing the whole good cop, bad cop shit. But they was like.
Straight bad?
They was being like nice and shit. They was like, yo, like, don't worry, this guy's being a dick. Like, he honestly don't got much evidence on you, this, and that, blah, blah, blah. And it was just like, just tell us what you know. And I was like, I don't know nothing. Like,
because you really didn't, though. Like.
Yeah, like, I mean, I knew who was doing this shit.
Oh, shit, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I knew who was doing this shit, but I just was like.
I don't know shit.
Yeah, but it was like, I was the easy, like, pinpoint guy. Because if you look through the IP address, you could find my eBay, and there's similar items selling on the eBay.
Makes sense.
So then, like, they was literally just trying to get me and my boy to rat on each other. And I was just like, look, like, I don't know what the fuck he did. Like, I don't know what y'all want me to say.
Like, I just work with him.
Yeah, so then basically because I didn't say nothing, the option was we could just charge them with everything.
Damn.
Because, come to find out, like, 2 years later, right? Like, I ain't look at my paperwork. I knew I got locked up. They tell me I got 15 felonies after. I'm thinking, oh, it's going to be an easy little misdemeanor case, whatever. It is what it is. And then I look at the paperwork like 2 years later, and it's the guy that was doing it that was the witness on the paperwork.
Wow.
So the one dude that I was fucking defending with my boy was the one that fucking said our names, and he got to keep his job, and he was the one doing this shit the whole fucking. It was the craziest, like.
That's why plot twist, basically.
Bro, and I seen this man, and I clapped him up and everything, like in between all that time,
and he threw you to the wolves.
And he would text. He's like, "Yo, I just want to check up on you, make sure this, and that." And I was like, bro, this motherfucker was just trying to make sure I wasn't snitching on him this whole time.
That's wild,
bro. And the case was literally the owner's son, and then as the witness on the paperwork was fucking Buddy's name.
That's wild as fuck, bro.
Yes, I got out of that shit. Like I literally, bro, like when they told me 15 felonies, I was like, yo, I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do. Like my mom's mad strict. I was like,
it's a wrap for me.
My girl at that time, I was just like, yo, do not. I was like, the one thing you do not do is do not tell my mom. I will stay in this shit as long as I need to while I figure it out. Do not tell my mom.
You called your shorty and she ended up like.
So she ended up telling my mom, yeah.
She had to. I mean, come on.
I was mad, bro. That's how scary my mom is. The whole time. All I was thinking was my mom better not find out about this, bro. I'm 24 years old, and I'm worried about my mom finding out about this shit.
Trust me, bro. I feel you, dog.
Bro, I was freaking the fuck out. But if my mom didn't find out, my stepdad would have never saved my ass, to be honest.
True.
Because, bro, like, they do a little virtual shit, and then they, like, call up, like, oh, you having a state person or whatever, and then, like, some lawyer just walks up, and like, I'm representing him. And I was like,
what?
I was like, what the fuck? And then, like, they do, like, little pans of the crowd, and then I see my mom and my stepdad there, and I was like, oh, shit, what the fuck? Bro, it's like at 2 o'clock no, not 2. It was probably, like, 6 in the morning or something.
Damn.
It was some random early-ass time. I was tired as fuck, and I'm just on a webcam, and I see my parents, and I'm in a fucking jumpsuit, and I was like, yo, this lady's gonna fucking murder me.
Damn, dude.
But I was like, shout out my stepdad for real, bro, because, like, I was trying to, like, I played, like, innocent at first, and I was just like, yo, like, I did nothing. And then, like, my mom was, like, talking to me, and she's like, yo, like, you know, like, we ain't know what we was gonna do with you, right? And I was like, yeah, like, I'm really surprised you guys did something. It's like, yo, like, your stepdad was like, well, let's just get him out of there and figure it the fuck out. And I was just like, yo, that's, you know, like,
That's real shit though,
like,
bro.
I
Because
mean, yeah, he my stepdad, but he definitely, like, bro, my dad was literally gonna let me stay in that shit.
damn, dog. But
When
didn't
I called
have
my
to do
dad,
that.
he was like, damn, you know, you fucked up, right? And I was like,
Damn.
He was like laughing on the phone and shit. And then so after that, I was like, all right, I'm gonna let y'all know what I did, but it's literally not what it's looking like right now type
Right.
shit.
Damn.
Yeah, so that's how the den started, bro. Because then I was just like, after that, I was just like, yo, I do not want to apply for a job and
have that
explain like 15 fresh felonies on my record type shit, like while I'm fighting the case.
on your right.
So then from there, I literally had like $800 in my bank account, and I was just like, let's turn this side hustle a little more real. And I deadass went to Sawgrass, spent my $800 there, and I sold like half the shit by like the second day. And I literally, right there, I made more than my fucking paycheck in 2 weeks off of that shit. And I was like, oh shit. And I just fucking
Started doing it.
that's literally how the den started. It was just Sawgrass and Ross hopping, to be real.
Damn. So then, how did you start expanding the team, like adding people to what you're doing?
I mean, to be real, team expansion just started like maybe not even a year ago. Like, the den's been me, bro.
Damn.
Like, Enter the Den, that was me. The footage is recorded by my brother. I edit all the footage.
Damn.
Any music video you see dropped by the den, that's me.
Damn.
All the products purchased. So the products purchased, posting online, the pricing, the shipping, all that shit, that's me. Posting on social media, that's me. Shooting the music videos, that's me. Editing all the content, that's me. Posting all that content, that's
Damn.
me. That's literally entirely me. And then, like, I just started getting, like, mad time. Like, yo, I really can't, girl. Like, I really don't trust people to, like, put shit out at the same, like,
Pace.
quality and, like, pace and exactly, like, I've had people do shit, and sometimes I'd be, like, disappointed. And it's, like, it could be the simplest shit. It could do better than, like, in reaction than, like, what I was putting. And I'm just, like,
I don't
this
like
is not
the
like,
aesthetic or
this
whatever.
is not my aesthetic. Like, I don't
feel
know
you.
what the fuck. So it's, like, honestly, like, it's Kenny. Like, that's my wife.
Shout out to her.
She kind of, like, started, like, pushing me, like, look, you're not gonna fucking grow if you don't open up more to these people and shit. Like, you need to, like, grow your brand. She's like, I know you like to do shit a certain way, but, like, it's just gonna have to be a process you go through. And
to
I was
teach
just-
people.
yeah, and, like, honestly, like, a lot of shit wouldn't happen without her. Like, we was living together and shit, and then, like, Enter the Den was, like, just an idea, and I was just like, look, I kind of want to do this shit, like, so do it. And it's just,
So
and, like, Enter the Den, probably, like, the first Enter the Den, I probably was short a couple $100, and she was just like, I'll just give it to you, just pay me back. And I was,
Yeah.
like, off rip, just gave me the cash, and I was like, that's fucking crazy.
how long y'all been together?
4.5 years now.
Damn. And how'd you guys meet?
We worked together, to be honest. We had worked at this store together, and then it turned into something I wasn't expecting that to turn into.
Nah, bro. I mean, congratulations, dog, on recently getting married, dog.
Yeah, bro.
So, what's the married life like?
Honestly, it's the same shit. We kind of moved quick. Like, she was going through some shit, so, like, I had my spot, and I was like, if you want, you could just, like, crash here in the meantime, you know? Like, it is what it is, and then from there, shit just got serious. And so it's just, like, off rip, we've kind of already lived together from the beginning, so we already know exactly what, like,
The boundaries are and everything like
it's
that.
literally the same shit. Like, that's, like, my best friend type shit. Like, she knows how I move. I know how she moves. Like,
So
we
you
kind of do everything. Like, it's kind of weird she's not here. Like, we kind of do all the shit together, to be real with you.
That's dope, man. That's real beautiful. So y'all did the honeymoon in DR.
Honeymoon / like, just homie vacation. So, like, our DR trip was, like, originally supposed to be, like, my birthday trip. And the wedding happened, like, mad last minute. Like, we was just sitting down together and shit. And I said it. I was like, why don't we just get married? And she was just like, she went with it. And she thought I was joking. And then, like, the next day I was like, yo, so we got to plan this shit out. Because that was, like, that was the end of June. And our anniversary is August, like, August 20th. Or August 19th, my bad.
Yeah.
So then she was just like, it'd be cool if we keep our anniversary since we're so close to it. And I was like, I'm down. And then everyone's like, yo, you're not going to be able to plan out a wedding that fast. You won't be able to plan it out. And I was just like, bro, I do shows and shit. It's the same shit. I was like, we not bougie like all you people. We going to just have a good time. And
Nah, it was a
do
beautiful
our
set.
shit.
It was, from what I seen on Instagram, it looked beautiful.
We had a
man.
great
Like,
time,
it
bro.
looked like you
That
guys had a
shit,
great
everyone
time.
was stressed and freaking out. I'm like, yo.
And talking to Kundalali about it, like she said, it was like an amazing time, and she had fun DJing.
Yeah, nah, she killed that shit, bro. Like the whole my whole family like wanted to book her after that shit, and I'm like, yo, just like let me know.
And that's dope too, because you kind of already had like a photographer for the wedding and everything kind of already in place. So
Yeah,
it's
so
like,
my brother was my best man, so he does. So my brother's whole thing is he's a wedding photographer. He's a wedding videographer.
wow.
So my brother does like professional shit. So like what the den is like not his like range, but like shout out to him because he's like kind of like the one that mentored me to be able to do what I do type shit. Like Enter the Den, I literally like Kenny was like, yeah, do that shit, and I pitched it to my brother. I'm like, look, I want to start doing shows, but like my shows are gonna be different. I was like, it's gonna be underground artists, and we're gonna have cameras everywhere. I was like, it's not gonna be like, obviously we're not like a festival and shit, but I was like, I need 2 camera angles and I need a camera on the microphone. I was like, you think we can make that shit happen?
That's the sickest thing.
He was like, yeah. And I was like, all right, but another thing, I was like, I need to record the raw audio. I don't want this shit to sound like the audio is coming from the camera. I need the camera audio so the audience can be heard, but I need to hear exactly how the music is coming out of the speakers into the fucking shit.
So all the performances are recorded? Like
every performance is recorded. We got everyone's audio. Like, bro,
that's fucking amazing.
We have everyone's shit, bro. Like, we literally have the craziest archive of like
shit.
Yeah, and he was like, I could do all that shit. And then I was like, all right. So he recorded it. He was supposed to edit the first show, but he was busy as fuck, and like he was working on it. But I was like, bro, like, I know you're getting paid off these weddings and shit, like and I'm about to have you fucking record like 30-minute sets and like edit it into like a whole thing for like 20 people.
Right.
And I was like, I actually used to have, like in my teenage years, like in high school, I used to run like a sneaker YouTube channel.
Oh shit.
So then like I was like, I remember how to like run Premiere and stuff, but like that. But I was like, I haven't touched this in like maybe like 10 years or so. And I was like, just refresh my memory and show me how you would have edited this. And he's like, all right, so what I would do is layer this, that. And then he was just like, all right, and then I do this. And I was like, all right. And then he's just like, and that's it. And then I just watched it and I was like, bro, that's it. And he was like, yeah. And I was like, all right, cool, I got this shit, bro. I was like, based off of what I used to do and like this shit. So then from there, what we did was he recorded the shows. I edited the whole shit.
Damn.
And then from there, I just like started touching up music videos and shit. Cause like, it's really crazy. It's really, really crazy. Cause like, I went through my like iCloud footage the other day, and from 2011, like my boy, he goes by Rico Ace now.
Shout out Rico Ace.
Like, yeah, all right, yeah, you know Rico Ace.
Of course, he sent Beats of Proximity.
If you look like deep in my phone, I literally have interviews. Like, I shot a music video for him over MF Doom beat back when we went to FIU. So there's like a video, like we broke into an auditorium, we shot a music video there, but I lost half the footage, so we never really like dropped that because it wasn't like how I wanted it to come out.
Right.
So I have that footage in there. I literally we was in our dorm rooms and I was fucking interviewing him and shit like that. And we did like a live performance. But I didn't remember doing any of this shit. Like until I saw the footage, I'm like, yo, I was doing this shit. And I was like, yo, I was really doing like some den shit like back then. And I didn't know. Like this was literally just me, like my homie's dope and I want to help him out. And I have some kind of like video skill. And I got my like YouTube, like my YouTube was kind of popping. So now I was like, yo, I'm gonna post this shit on my YouTube and you gonna blow the fuck up. And then I just never dropped it. I don't know what the fuck.
Damn.
But literally right now on my phone, I literally have like a fucking hour interview with him. Like just us in our dorm, our awkward ass boy Suarez in the background playing guitar for whatever reason.
You gotta drop that shit, man.
Nah, bro.
He's like, nah,
bro, nah. So, especially back, he was on some boom bap shit back then too. So it was a whole different persona, a whole different like shit.
Everything. So, take me to the first show, the first Enter the Den.
So first Enter the Den was it was like a pop up because like I said, like after I got locked up and shit, like I just started doing the online flipping shoes, flipping clothes type shit, and then it was just cool. It was steady, but it was just like I got comfortable, and like I was just like, damn, I don't need to, but I kind of wish. Like, I would watch people do pop-ups and, like, them be successful and shit. And I was like, I really wish I could do something like this. Like, I wish I had, like, a following like this. This would be cool. Because, like, I posted on Instagram, but just to post on Instagram, and I get, like, a like or two or some shit. But it was, like, I had,
show
like,
you active and shit.
Yeah, I had, like, 30 followers. And I was just like, bro, it's really annoying to just go out my way and post this shit just for, like, no one to see this shit. Right. And then I would just watch all these people do all these pop-ups, and I was like, I really wish I could do a pop-up. It'd be really cool, but like, it was just always an idea, and I never did nothing with it.
Right.
And then one day, I was like, damn, like my birthday was coming up, and I was just like, yo, I wish I could like rent out a warehouse and just throw a crazy ass party for my birthday.
Yo,
and
I already know.
I posted on my story, and I was like, yo, does anyone have a homie that has a warehouse? And then my boy hit me up. He was like, yeah, my boy has a warehouse. So I went and I checked it out, bro. And bro, I wish that place still existed, bro.
Damn.
I forgot what they used to go by, bro. But shout out to them. No one's ever gonna see what they built themselves into, because with COVID, they fucking like they built like the wonderland of underground platforms, and the fucking city got involved and like shut their ass down.
Damn, where was this at?
Oakland Park.
Okay.
So yeah, so like my boy told me about it, and I posted on my story just like bullshit, and like no one's gonna know anyone with the warehouse, and if they do, it's not gonna be like what I want and shit like that. And then like he told me, he's like, bro, he's like, you should check it out. And I go, they have a bar inside, they got an AC unit, they got all this shit, and I was like, this is perfect. The one thing was like they had like an old school ass like sound system, and I was like, yo, can you like? He's like, bro, trust me, it's good, and he would play it, and it was like, all right, it sounds decent, but it wasn't like
anything. Yeah.
It was nothing crazy, and it was like, bro, I wanted wireless mics, I wanted free roam, I wanted artists going all over the warehouse doing all kinds of shit. I didn't want to be like stagnant with the wire, tripping, breaking equipment and shit. So then like I was like, all right, cool, the warehouse is perfect. He had security, he had everything. I got the warehouse, and then I was like, all right, I was talking to Kenny, I was like, yo, like, what should we do? And I was like, I feel like I should like take advantage. It's my birthday, and like do like a pop-up for the den, so people like I was like, because my homies know what the den is, but it's just no one like knows. They don't like know what the den is, because it's just like it's something we talk about. It's not something they see.
Right.
So then I was like, all right, I'm gonna do a pop-up. And then like I was supporting some homies that was like performing and shit, and I would literally watch them shut down shows and like have ass rappers go on after them and shit, or like nervous ass people and shit. So then I was just like, I hit up my boys and I was like, yo, if I did like a pop-up shop, would you guys be down to like perform? Mm-hmm. And all of them was down. I only had 5 people on the first Enter the Den. So then I was like, all right, let's do this shit. I reached out to like, I didn't know Nick Mighty back then. So I like Nick Mighty, I just like, I reached out to him like, Nick, man. I reached out to him like not know, I just knew of him. He was like my homie's homie. Mm-hmm. And then like he was down for it and shit. And I just like pitched the whole idea. So like basically like I just went on my way. I spent my own, like I said, bro, like I spent my own bread. Kenny helped me out with that shit too. Mm-hmm. And we just rented out a warehouse and threw a free fucking show. Like let's fucking do this pop-up and shit. Boom. And to be real with you, bro, it was like a half-ass pop. The pop-up portion was like half-ass, because it was like, I was like, everyone's going to be late, and then I was running late and shit. So I'm like literally like hanging up clothes and shit still, setting up my racks and stuff. And then I'm like looking, and all these people are saying what's up to me, and I'm like, God damn, like people ain't leaving me the fuck alone. Like, what the fuck? And then I turn around, and it's like 30 minutes into the show, and the whole warehouse was packed. Like, damn. Like shoulder to shoulder in that bitch. And I was like, yo,
that's such a great
what
feeling,
the fuck? And I was like, I looked at Kenny, I was like, yo, can you believe this shit? And she's like, what time did you tell people to come? And I was like, I think we started it like at 6 or some shit. And I was like, 6, but I didn't think people was gonna be here yet.
Damn, 6:30?
And she was like, yeah. She's like, what the fuck? She's like, I thought people would have been here like at 9. I was like, that's what I was planning. So like the sets wasn't set till like 9 o'clock or some shit.
Right.
And bro, like the place was cool. We had pool tables, we had darts. There was like all kinds of games. There was a bar area. There was like all this shit. Yeah, bro. The first Enter the Den was literally, I went to Brandsmart and I bought Brandsmart Bluetooth speakers, and we were just playing from that shit. Like, what? And I had my dad's like 2008 MacBook Air or whatever the fuck it was. Trackpad ain't even work. I had a mouse attached to it.
Damn.
I personally made mixes, so the show was perfectly timed out, like timed.
Wow.
There was no like DJing. It was just, this is my playlist, and I know when this song comes on, I gotta start getting ready to call the next artist to come on.
Damn.
Artist sets was me on iTunes playing their songs.
No fucking
like
way.
They'd be finished, I'm like, all right, cool, and I would just double fucking click and then just play the next song.
That's
like,
OD.
That's literally the first Enter the Den was like
all off the muscle.
Literally like just I knew nothing about this shit. Like $30 double mic system, muffled as fuck. Like if you look at the footage of the first show, it's super muffled, like vocals of the artist and shit, and that's truly what it sounded like. But everyone had a fucking like great time. It was talking about how amazing it was and shit. And it was like, how long you been doing this music shit? I was like, bro, I literally knew nothing about music. I just like, as far as like setups and technicality, bro, I literally was just I want to do this, and I went to Brandsmart and I bought some cheap ass like speakers that sounded loud at Brandsmart. I didn't know I needed a subwoofer and shit. So it was just like, I was like, damn it doesn't even sound good. Like I was so mad at the first show, and then everyone was like, nah, bro, this is cool. Like don't worry about it. Like you learn. I was like, nah, bro, I needed this to sound perfect. But like everyone had a great time, and we had like
most important
a packed building like the whole fucking night. That shit was fucking crazy.
That's the most important thing. That's really the most important thing, is to have the people there having a good time, regardless of what you can provide. You feel me? Like at that moment. So when that happened, you were like, I need to take these shows more serious.
Yeah, like everyone was just asking me when the next one was and shit. And I really wasn't planning the next one because like Enter the Den was literally just supposed to be a pop-up.
For
like,
your birthday.
A pop-up it was supposed to be my birthday party. A pop-up for the brand so people could like see the kind of shit I sell. And that was literally it. Like it was just, that's all it was supposed to be. And then people fuck with it. Like right after the show, I went right to Brandsmart and I returned everything that I bought. And then I just went like deeper diving. I went to fucking like Sam Ash. I'm like, look, this is what I did, and I need to do this properly. And then they was just like laughing at me. They're like, I can't believe like this is what you did for like an entire show and shit. So they kind of like put me onto what I needed. I went on OfferUp and like lowballed everyone until somebody fucking accepted my offer. Bro, I'm telling you, like the first show was in August. November was like the show after that.
Damn.
So from August till November, I was buying subwoofer. I was buying fucking Electro Voice subwoofers. I was buying mixers. I was buying like all this shit. Like literally someone that knows nothing about music. I'm just on the internet like figuring it out. Like I'm buying wrong cables and shit. Like I had a warehouse at that time for the day. It was like a little 300 square foot warehouse, but like big ass ceilings. So I'm in there and like my neighbor's getting pissed because I'm like blasting music, making all these weird noises because I know nothing about music. I know nothing about this setup shit. And I'm just sitting there like trying to figure it out, making sure that this shit sounds perfect.
So
like
just,
the next
you
time,
and YouTube rocking.
Literally just, and I'm not patient with YouTube either, bro. I watch 30 seconds of YouTube. I'm like, I got it.
Yeah,
and then I would just fucking lose the video. I wasn't even signed into my account, so I couldn't find the video again and shit.
Yo, that's me too, bro.
Bro, I was pissed, bro. It was the most stressful like 3 months ever. I was just nonstop just like doing shit. And the annoying shit was the Den was just like an online shop. So it was like I did the first show and everyone saw the footage, and my DMs blew the fuck up with artists, bro. All these artists, yo, you gotta put me on. I was like, bro, we're just a store. I don't know what you want me to do. Like, bro, I was getting so irritated. I'm like, yo, we're just a store. We're just like, if you look at my page, there's just t-shirts on the floor. I don't know what you want me to do.
Right.
It's just t-shirts and dunks all over the floor.
And then you became a platform overnight.
Basically, I guess. Yeah, I was just like watching shit, and then like in the beginning when artists was blowing me up, like they was sending me their music and shit, and I was just like, I had time back then. I was just like, all right, cool, and I would listen, and some of them were like, yeah, I fuck with this shit. So like when I was like, maybe we should do a second show, I like hit up those artists that I fucked with from like that time, and then I just did the second show, and it was that much better. And then that's when like Loop came along, because then I was just like, yo, I need a DJ, but then it's like, I ain't have a budget for a DJ because it's like I'm already doing this show for free. I'm already spending like a rack out my pocket to get a warehouse and try this out again and see how it turns out.
So the first 2 were free?
First 3 were free.
Damn.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Like this didn't just like, bro, people think they just gonna be on the Den and like do all this other shit. Like, bro, I spent so much money out my pocket for this shit.
But people really don't understand that shit, though. Like how much, because like, you know, I've dabbled in throwing my own shows and getting places and shit. So I know that shit is expensive. You feel me?
Yeah, bro. The first 3 shows completely free.
Like people don't understand, though.
Yeah,
but
bro.
I didn't mean to go ahead.
No, you good, bro. I'm chilling. But yeah, bro, what was it? The second incident. Yeah, I couldn't afford DJing. Like people would hit me up and like, yo, like at least throw me some gear and stuff like that. And I was like, I wasn't even making the Den gear at that time. I was just selling brands. Like I was selling A-Life and Dunks and Stussy and the Hundreds and like people was like, that was hitting me up asking me for gear. I was like, bro, like they didn't even know about that shit. So I was just like, I don't know what you want me to do. There's no such thing as the Den gear. I made Enter the Den tees for the first one just to like have something, but like second one I didn't have shit. I was just the second show I didn't even sell merch. I was like, fuck this. I was like, that was too much of a setup. I'm not doing that shit. I just want to try it again.
Damn.
And then I just did it. And the crazy part is, bro, it's just really weird when you like think of it. So like the second show, it was the same spot. First show we did one end of the warehouse, but then I thought about it. I'm like, the warehouse was long, so like when we did it the other way, it was like the end that was like a bigger area, but then you would have to be squished in that area to watch the performers or be far off just in the cut kind of watching.
Right.
So I was like, yo, let's just take advantage of the long area and do this. And Buddy was like, yo, I don't really got like a stage or nothing like right now and stuff like that. And then I was like, what about your pool table? And he was like, I mean, we could use the pool table, just like be careful with it. So like we had like 15 dudes come because he had this like antique pool table. And we carried the pool table from one end of this like huge warehouse to the other end. We're like,
damn,
bro, we even used the fucking car jack on one side of it. It was like the ghettoish shit. And then we like took wood and we just laid it out on the pool table. And like if you look at the footage of the second incident, there was a lot of people on that. Like just to show you how like heavy, bro. Like one set, we had like ULC Urban Legends call on that shit, and then they brought out their homies. So there was like 15 people on this pool table, and jumping around, and nothing happened to it.
What was the shit made out of the material?
Heavy as fuck. I'm telling you, bro. We had 15 dudes and we struggled with a car jack to just add some wheels to like, so it glowed like it. I don't know what the word. Glided a little bit. Like it was crazy. But yeah, like the second incident, I asked my brother, I'm like, are you down to run it back again? I was like, I know you be getting the fuck out, and I don't got a budget to like pay you anywhere near what you getting paid for like this shit. So like my brother was just like down for this shit, like off rip.
That's wild, bro. That's wild.
And that shit got packed too. So I was just like, shit. All right, we got the equipment now. Oh, but yeah, so like that's how Loop came about. Like Loop hit me up like a week before that show. Like I still didn't have a DJ.
Right.
So I was on my computer again, pre-making my mix, bro, just pre-making the fuck out my mixes and shit.
What were you using to make your mixes? What program?
A program that I don't know anyone that uses that program. Adobe Audition.
What? To mix?
It wasn't like, bro, I didn't know anything about this music shit.
That's wild.
So it wasn't like mixing. It was like, this is the song I want to hear, and now this is the song I want to hear after this. And then I would just be on YouTube ripping like DJ turntable sounds and shit like that. It was just like different shit. Like all right, so like one thing I know for sure I did that was like probably the most DJ shit I've ever done was the first Enter the Den, right? Like people probably gonna hate me for this, but I do not like Drake. I personally do not like Drake as an artist. He's a great businessman. I do not like him as an artist. I just find him corny, and I don't think he has like he's not original. He can make a hit. I'll give him that. He can make a hit. He can do whatever the fuck he wants. But basically, first Enter the Den, I was like on some petty shit. I'm like, yo, this is about the true underground, the true talented people. Like this isn't that. Like that was my mentality.
Right.
So like low key, I would take like little Drake hits in between because like I knew I had some like homies coming through that wasn't about the underground shit. And I'm like, I'm gonna add this in there. So then that way they like get hyped to the shit.
Right.
But I would just kind of play the part where I knew Drake ripped something from someone else. And then I would add like little DJ turntable turns and then like fucking like gunshots and shit. And then I would just play the fucking original of that song.
That's fire though. That's
just
fire.
To show you that shit. Like fucking.
Blow the whistle?
Nah, but the one that I really like emphasized was Blunt to My Lips by Project. Is it?
Yeah.
Fuck from.
It's on my like Project Pat.
Is it Project Pat?
Yeah,
it's Project Pat. Yeah, it is Project Pat. Yeah. The Push Me to the Edge so you know it ain't my fault. So I had whatever that Drake song was where he says that shit, and then I have it play back like that Push Me to the Edge part play back like 4 times, and then it's just like a bunch of gunshots. And then it just comes in with Project Pat. Push me to the edge so you know it ain't my fault, man.
Nah, you snap.
And it just kept going back. And then we just fucking went straight to 3 6 Mafia from that shit.
That's fire, though.
It was like the craziest 3 6 Mafia like mix ever. But it was shit like that. Like I ain't know nothing about mixing. I'm over here like Googling like, how do I speed up music? And how do I do this? How do I do that? Like all this shit. And my playlist played out perfectly. Like everyone was fucking with that shit.
You're an ambitious dude, bro. For real. Cause that's you went all the way in.
I knew nothing about mixing. I didn't know none of this, bro. I thought people literally went into the studio and recorded. I thought you only edited your voice when you were using auto-tune. That's literally, I literally thought people just went in a booth. It was more about your mic quality and you just recorded. I knew nothing about this music shit.
That's funny.
This is like all self-taught through like all the fuck-ups and mistakes and stress I've gone through all these shows.
So you would say after like the third one, you were more vetted, right?
Yeah, because it's like, so Luke came along the second one. So I had a DJ. So I got that part handled. So that was like a whole like 24 hours of my life I didn't have to spend making music and like timing shit between artists. Cause like the first Enter the Den was 5 artists. Second Enter the Den was like 13.
Damn.
Cause it was like there was so many dope artists hitting me up to like that they want to be a part of it. So then once I had like a DJ a week before, I was like, all right, but I just forgot, bro. I missed a whole different step, bro. Like, you know, we was I haven't been sponsored in a while, besides like Fatso and stuff like that.
Shout out to Fatso.
But you know who my first sponsor was? Wasn't it Twisted Tea?
Really?
Was the first Enter the Den sponsor.
How did you get to end up securing that?
Bro, I just made a PDF with my idea and I just copy and pasted all this. Bro, like I was looking up liquor companies and shit, like looking at local bars and shit that had like the weird craft beers that no one knows about.
Right.
And I was just hitting up all those brands. I was like, no one knows about this brand. And then from there, it made it easy because my algorithm on Instagram, all I was getting advertised was liquor companies and shit. So it was like all these liquor companies I never heard of. I was like, all right, they're paying for IG ads. So they need a platform to fucking run their ads on. So then I was just hitting them all up with my idea. Twisted Tea and who was my other one? Every Enter the Den has been sponsored, bro, since the very beginning.
That's crazy. Wasn't it Liquid Death too at one point?
Liquid Death was a long runner for that one, yeah. But the first one, it was Twisted Tea and damn, bro, what's their name? It was basically an alcoholic company, like an alcoholic coffee.
What?
And they made alcoholic coffee and chai lattes. That shit.
With liquor?
Or chai teas.
With liquor?
With liquor. Bro, them shits was lit.
Nah, that's OD. So,
New Ground, that was their name.
Damn.
And then Crunk Energy Drink sponsored the second.
No way.
Fucking Chief Liz almost sponsored Enter the Den too.
Damn.
And then the person got fired for like almost sending us the package because then they saw like what we do and it was like, this is not our.
This is not what we're trying to promote.
I almost had free plantain chips for everyone.
That would have been fire though. That would have been fire. That's actually a real smart way to go about it too, to like hit them up directly and shit.
Liquid Death is funny because I was hitting them up from the beginning and I didn't hear back.
Yeah. So how did they end up reaching back out to you?
Honestly, I just hit them up through their IG email. So like, I forgot where I went. I went somewhere. I went to like somewhere in Wynwood, and they had Liquid Death, and I had seen about Liquid Death, and I'm like, this is the craziest concept ever. This is so cool.
I've never tried it, bro.
It's the best water you'll ever have. I'll give you that, bro. And that's not because they sponsored me.
Yeah.
It is.
Is that good?
Whatever you think water should taste like, that's what Liquid. Bro, I'm telling you, everyone has the same reaction when they've had Liquid Death at the shows. Because it's like, not only do you not expect there to be water in that can, but it's just the most, bro, it's like water from heaven, even though they fucking promote themselves to be like satanic and demonic and shit.
That's wild.
Like, yeah, Liquid Death was fire.
So,
bro, Liquid Death would hook it up, bro. Shout out to Liquid Death, bro.
I remember when I first went, there was hella cases of that shit all over.
Bro, they used to ship through Amazon too. Like, Amazon was the only way they used to sell when they was fucking with us. So I'd be like, yo, man, what's good? Like, we're about to have another show. And he's like, say less, bro. I remember one time I emailed him at midnight, and at 9 a.m, fucking Amazon was at the fucking store.
Damn.
And, bro, they came with like 24 boxes, and each box came with 2 cases of that shit.
Jeez.
So I just had and that's just heavy, bro. Amazon fucking hated the Den.
Damn.
They hated pulling up to the Den.
Because
I was like, I'm not picking that up, bro. And to get into the Den, you got to go upstairs, too. You got to go up some steps.
Damn.
So it was like walking on. You can't even just wheel it in this shit. You literally had to, like, walk that shit in.
That's so deep. So when did you bring in, like, your first, like, major artist to an Enter the Den show?
I mean, what level would you consider major?
Mean, from anybody that you had. I mean, you've had, some people pull up. Like, of course, like, Trap Star and, like, those people that, like, in the underground. You know what I'm saying? Like, in the underground.
So the third Enter the Den was kind of like my goal point. So, like, I always kind of thought about doing shows, but I never, like, thought much of it. But I remember being, like, when I first thought of shows, I'm like, all right, so what we're going to do is run shows for, like, a year, like, once a month. And just, like, keep running these shows until we perfect where we need to be. And, like, 12lin was the goal. Like,
shout out 12lin.
We're going to get 12lin on this shit. And then, like, the first 2 shows were just so great. I was like, I'm going to just fucking try this shit. So then the third Enter the Den, I hit up 12lin. And we was talking.
On IG?
Nah, I got his manager's email. So like we made that happen. I had like Tunde and shit. 12lin, like I remember it, like something happened where it kind of like didn't work out. And like a week before, cause it was like 2 days after New Year's or the day after New Year's, and I just like a week before, and Tunde was like really getting traction out here, like in Miami and shit with How Do You Want It. So now I was like, and 12lin was working on a project with Tunde or some shit. They was really close. So then I like emailed his manager again, like, yo, like I got this show, like the show's happening still, and I got Tunde on it, and like I think it'd be a great way to start the new year, like to throw 12lin on it. And he answered me back. We worked some shit out, and then we got 12lin on that shit. And that was like, to me, that was huge because like 12lin, like literally 12lin was like I'm doing 15 shows and then I'm reaching out to 12lin.
Yeah.
And it was like, here I am. Like I wasn't really planning on doing shows. Like this was a pop-up idea, and this is a completely separate idea from what my other idea was. And I already got 12lin on like my third show type shit.
Facts. Yeah, so that was like the first like one that you were like, all right, this shit is like going up. So.
And that was a collab with Galaxy Studio. Shout out to them because they went to the second Enter the Den and they hit me up and was like, we really fuck with what you're doing. Let's do a collab. And they literally just offered me their spot to like do shows and shit.
Fire.
So if you like watch the second show to then the third show, you'll see a complete like venue change and like different camera angles and shit. And that's because like Galaxy like just invited us to like go out there and do some shit at that. And I was like, that's fucking like, that was like another thing. I was like, yo, this shit just get crazier and crazier. Now I got venues hitting me up and shit to like do the show there instead and shit.
Facts. So now, I got a question for, all the artists out there, you feel me? Because I already know when they watch the interview, they're going to want to know, like, how does, like, an artist that's, like, not on the Den's radar get on the Den's radar? Like, what's the best way to go about reaching out to you guys?
To contact us and actually let us know what you want to do. Like, hey, I fuck with you guys. I like that you guys do this. Tell us what the fuck you want to do. Every artist that hits me up sends me, yo, a million times. We made a whole skit about this shit on how to not hit us up. It's like 5 of the main messages we get. And they'll be like, yo, how do I perform? And I'll literally like, bro, I used to be so nice about it. I used to like, just like, all right, I'm going to entertain it. And like, because it would be like right after I drop an archive or some shit.
Right.
And then like a show wouldn't be done for like 2 months. So I'm like, are you talking about the YouTube stuff or are you talking about like the shows? And then they'd be like, what's the difference? And I'm like, all right, bro, like I'm not gonna fucking sit here and like
explain it. Like you should already see what's going on.
Like, bro, like you really just sent me like a whole paragraph talking about how you fuck with what we do, and then like now you're not even telling me like what it is you're trying to fucking actually do.
Now, how did the archives come about?
The archives honestly was how'd the archives come about? It was I know how it happened. I'm just trying to think of like
what was the chain of events to it?
So like Nick Mighty was at my spot. You could actually see it on there. It's crazy. It's a completely different setup than like what it was. But like Nick Mighty came to my spot. We literally was just hanging out. Like after the first show, like we just off rip became homies. So like he would come to my warehouse. We just hang out. So like him and Trey YKC came by, and then we was just I don't know. I wasn't in the mood to like listen to music at the time, and it was crazy because I had my warehouse. So my warehouse had like the show sound system. So it's like literally you're like in this little warehouse with like a fucking big ass fucking like 18-inch sub and like 2 cabinet speakers just blasting music. And that was hooked up to my computer as like my aux.
Damn.
So it was just always just blasting music out the fucking little warehouse. So we was just chilling there. I was like, I don't feel like really listening to music. And then Nick was like showing us this one beat and on like one of them YouTube beats. He's like, yo, this is hard, right? I'm like, yeah, this is hard as fuck. You should do a song on it. And he was like, all right. So then like he was just showing me what he had like already had like ready for it and shit. So then from there, like, like YouTube's algorithm, then the next like tight beat plays and the next one. And him and like I was out here shipping orders, and then him and Trey just kept freestyling like back and forth with each other. And I was like, yo, I got the cameras that I use from the shows. Like what if we just recorded what you guys are doing right now? Like you're doing it regardless. And like that'd be dope. So I just set up 2 lights I had from the show. They sat on a chair. And I was like, I don't got no mics to like grab your audio good. So I was like, you guys both open up the voice memos on your phone and rap into your phones. Like just sit next to each other and rap into your phones. And that's what the fuck we did.
That's fucking.
I literally was just shipping out. I'm literally on the computer shipping orders. Random type beats is playing, and it was just freestyles. And like just free, like literally just sitting there freestyling in my warehouse while I'm like shipping out orders and shit. And I was like, this was fire. So I just picked out like my favorite like
freestyle
10 out of like 50. Bro, the archives are like, the original ones are like 30, 40 minutes long. It's truly random YouTube beats playing. Like none of that was planned. We didn't choose specific beats. It's literally just in between. Like if you watch, like the footage isn't there that has that, but there'd be like random like ads playing, like come fix your roofing, no, like right after a Playboy Cardi beat just fucking played for them and shit like that.
Yeah.
So it was like an entire like switch up. So it was just, it went from that, and then like a couple other artists hit us up like, yo, like we want to do that, like they're homies and shit. So then we did that one, and then from there I was like, I went on Amazon and I was like, wireless mic that has an aux port to it.
Right.
And then I found a wireless mic. So then from there, I just had a mic stand in the warehouse. And then we would just do the same thing, random YouTube beats. But it was like the one artist would sit there with the mic and just be freestyling over these beats.
Damn.
And then I would just download the beats, mix the shit up together, and then post it. And then from there, like as we just kept doing it, other artists would hit me up like, yo, I want to do it and shit. But then like, I truly had some like you feel me? Like it's cool when I know you, cause it's like I know you could freestyle, but then like if you come in here and you can't freestyle, and I just sat here for 45 minutes, freely recording you and letting you try to freestyle over this shit, and I'm just like fucking deafening my ears and shit. I can't do that shit. So I was just like, whatever. Like, so then I just started putting like a little price on it, and then people was paying to do this shit. And I was like, damn, this is fucking crazy.
Another story.
Yeah. And then like, you know, slowly as that starts to happen, and then certain people like let me freestyle, and it's like very clearly like some like pre-written shit. And I was like, nah, this is not like what I wanted the archives to be. Like, this is not what it is. Like, this is supposed to be like a true like cypher session and shit like that.
Right.
And then from there, like, people would just keep pitching me ideas, and like a lot of people were hitting me up that they wanted to like perform their music. And I thought about it, I'm like, yo, like, this is so much easier than random YouTube beats and people not being able to freestyle.
But all the
like,
cameras and shit is like 1 or 2 takes.
Yeah, I was like, it's just one session. It's not me recording them over like 10 different fucking beats and sitting here and like getting everything set up properly and shit. So then from there, we did that, and then went from the warehouse. Then we got the store. So then I was just like, I feel like I can make this look better. So then I just got like, because when we got the store, then we started building a studio in the store. So I was buying all these little parts off OfferUp. So then I had this like little mic that I got with one of the interfaces that we bought. Like some dude was just selling them together. Like it was like not an option to like not get his mic. And I was like, all right, I already know what mic I want, but
I'll
whatever.
take it anyway.
So then I had that mic laying around, and I had some XLRs laying around and shit. And I was like, what if we hang this microphone off the fucking ceiling, and I get like an interface that could connect to my camera, and we just recorded that way. I was like, it's so much better than this like wireless Bluetooth mic thing that I've been using this whole time.
Right.
And then, yeah, it just
became that.
People started rapping inside the store with the fucking upside down mic and shit.
What's some of your favorite ones from the archives?
Some of my favorites was Scotty's. Scotty's was dope. I really fuck with Scotty. The first one we did was Scotty. I mean, her other one was dope too, but like that one was kind of like game changing. BLP Kosher's was dope. That shit
shout out RP Juice Shiesty.
Yeah, RP Juice. But BLP Kosher's, that shit was dope because it's like, I remember seeing his shit, bro. I was like, no one's gonna fucking expect this shit.
Especially
like,
over that beat and everything.
I didn't know that's what he was doing, bro. Like, he was like, I'm gonna bring a homie with me and shit. And I was like, all right. Like, I just seen him like rapping, and I was like, yo, like,
I fuck with what
I
you're
was
doing.
like, this is what I do. We should like do this together. And yeah, that was cool. I mean, there's a lot of cool ones out there, honestly. I mean, there's fucking like over 100 of them at this point now.
Hey.
But those were kind of like some like
standout ones.
Yeah, because like Scotty was like probably my first time. I don't even know. Like Scotty was just different because it was like, it wasn't like something I would do. Like I remember, so Scotty, I found out about Scotty because like, and it's like she she like DM'd us before about being on shows, but I would just send her like the generic shit. Like I would send everybody like this is like my price sheet and that's it. And then like I did a show with Giovanni X, and he was like, let's throw some females on there. And I always made sure I at least had 1 or 2 girls on the show if I noticed I had no females on the show. And I was like, all right, I was like, I kind of don't want to like reuse the same people I'm using. I kind of like haven't really found anyone else yet. And he like told me like he threw her on there and stuff. And I was like, all right, cool. Like just take care of the lineup. Like I'll throw who I want on the lineup, and then like do whatever you want to do. I just want to do a show because this was during COVID times. Right. And then she performed. I just remember being like, yo, this girl is fucking like, this shit is hard. Yeah. So right after that show, I like the next day, I was like, yo, I got to DM her. Like, we got to work with her. She's hard. So I like DM'd her, and then I seen like she had messaged us a couple times, and I was like, yo, first and foremost, I want to say I'm sorry that I never, ever wanted to work with you. Your shit is hard. Yeah. And then I was like, second, I want to invite you over to like come do like the archives with us. Like, this shit would be cool. And then like, I still like I probably looked up her music, or I probably didn't. I don't know at that point. But I remember her performance was just amazing. Yeah. And then I was just like I want to work with you. And she did that shit, and I was like, yo, like, I think she was our first female on the archives, to be honest.
That's fire.
I'm pretty sure she was the first female we ever had on that. Like, we had females on the show, but I'm pretty sure she's our first female, like, the archives performance. And that shit, like, blew the fuck up, because I didn't know she was, like, a TikTok star neither. I just thought she was dope. Yeah. And then my homegirl hit me up, and I was like, oh, my God, you work with this girl? And I was like, yeah. She's like, she just posted it on TikTok. And when she posted it on TikTok, it went crazy. And that was, like, a month after we did it. Damn. So, like, we was posting it on Instagram, and then she made a TikTok post about it, and I was just like, yo, why are my comments flooding and like all this other, like getting all these like alerts and subscription alerts and shit? And then like my homegirl sent me that. I'm like, oh, you follow her? She's like, yeah, she's really popular on TikTok. Like, I love her, like the shit she says and stuff like that. And I was like, yo, that's cool. Like, you know, like, so like the crazy thing with me and like the den and like what I do and all that shit is like none of my homies that I grew up, like a lot of my friends are from when I was like, I had friends from when I was like 4. I had friends from when I was like 8, and it's just like we just always been friends. But like I like the schools I went to, even though there was like Catholic schools and shit like that, like all the kids was on financial aid or some shit. Like their parents was giving like their last dime to make sure their kids got like a Christian education and shit. Word. So it was like none of these people was into that shit. They was just like into like cartoons and like toys and shit like growing up, and it's just like I didn't have like cable growing up, so we just grew up differently, and none of them was into sneakers. None of them was into streetwear. None of them was into fashion. None of them's like into underground rap. They just listening to like radio shit. Right. So it's just like I didn't have like a support system behind me really. Like they show up, they'll be there, they'll show love, but it's like it don't really do much when you don't know nothing about this scene, or right. Like your friends are also not like nothing to do with this, because like, you know, like we're homies because we went to school together type shit. Like we're homies. Good. We're not homies through any of this like any of these cultures or like shit like that. Right. So it was just really cool to see someone that like came from an area that like had nothing to do with like what I was like building type shit hit me up and see that shit. Yeah. That's fine. So like, though. Yeah, that was Scotty's was mad cool. Coach's was mad cool because I knew people was gonna get caught off guard with that shit. I was like, no. And
he was snapping too.
Snapping, bro. Bro, I remember editing that shit and I was so excited. I was like, yo, this shit's gonna be great. And I had just got an embroidery machine and shit. So, like, I had my homie Andre in there. And, like, I was like, bro, don't look at the screen. Just, like, listen to what this guy's saying. He's just jamming. He's like, bro, this shit is so hard. But he's like, why you got to keep saying cracker every time I think he's going to say the N-word? And then I was like, oh, yeah, bro, I forgot I haven't showed you the screen yet. And then I showed him. And he's like, who is this? I'm like, this who you been listening to rap this whole time while I was editing the video. He's like, no way, bro. I'm like, yeah, bro, he's Jewish. So I was like, that's a Jewish kid you been listening to rap. He's like, bro, this is fucking crazy. Fire. And like at that moment, I was like, bro,
this is about to be one.
I was like, yeah, this shit. Like I really, like, bro, I was so excited with that shit. That shit was dumb fun.
That's a move. So I know that you got like what the Den mixtape coming out.
Yeah, hopefully by January.
Okay. I know that really I seen the track list, you know what I'm saying? I've seen some people on there. I seen you got OG Curb on there.
Yeah, there's like 37 artists on that shit.
37?
Yeah. Damn. There's at least 15 to 17 songs. I don't remember the number. 15 to 17 songs. Every song has a minimum of 2 artists. So that already brings you up to the 30 range. And there's like probably 2 songs that have 3 artists on it. So like the one with OG Curve that has OTLBZ from Louisiana on it, and I got Soulja Living True on that track too. Yeah. So like it's like everything. So like the mixtape was literally like with the shows and shit, producer hit me up all the time, and I was just like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do with like producers hit me up. Like it was the archives. When I was doing the freestyles, they wanted producers would hit me up because they wanted their beats to be played on the archives. Yeah. They're like, yo, I'd love for you to have artists fucking perform over my beats instead of these YouTube beats. So like people hit me up all the time, and I was just like, yo, like we should do a mixtape. I was like, I feel like I've worked with enough artists that I could put together some like real dope shit
with your networking for sure.
So then like I just posted like, yo, we're thinking of doing a mixtape. If you're a producer, send me beats to the email. But make sure in the subject you put your @ because this ain't gonna be some shit where I'm just dropping shit and no one's getting credit. I was like, everyone that's on this tape is gonna get credit. So like I don't need to be hunting for someone later on when I end up using their beat. Right. And right away I had like fucking like 15 artists like or producer submissions and shit, like all these beats. I'm like, yo, this is crazy. And I remember the first one that submitted one of the first that I listened to was by Crime. And the first Crime beat I heard, I was like, bro, this beat is fucking beautiful. I was ready to listen to like 30 beats that was ass before I got to the one I liked. And the very first one I clicked was fire. And I was like, yo, I definitely hear Mikey Low on this beat. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna have to reach out to him and shit. But then Rico Ace invited me like over to Galaxy. I probably hear it like to listen to his like tape coming out or something. It was for something, but that's my dog. So like we would just hang out all the time when we had free time. It's just Galaxy's all the way fucking past Kendall, and I'm in fucking Pompano. So there's a whole distance in between that. Facts. So he invited me over, and then we're going, and I was like, bro, I had this idea for a mixtape, and I got this one beat that is so fire, and I really want to send it to Mikey Low. I just haven't reached out to him yet because like I don't got his number right now. Like I know like we know each other personally, but I just don't got his number. And I was like, but I like this tape isn't just like artist on a song. Like it's me putting together features and stuff. And I think you're the other artist that should be on it. Damn. And then he was like, yo, I fuck with this shit. And he's like, but I can't think of something right now. So he's like, I'm gonna make a reference, send it to Mikey, make sure he fucks with it. Like make sure he fucks with it instead of you just sending him the beat so he kind of gets an idea. I was like, all right. So like he made the rough, and I was like, yo, I fuck with this shit. Sent that over to Mikey. Mikey was like, yo, I really like this idea. He's like, I'm gonna take it a little different direction though, and like you let me know what you think. So then Mikey's fucking production master. So like he has that shit mixed and sent to me. And I was like, yo, this is a fucking masterpiece, bro. So I sent it over to Rico. I'm like, yo, like I was like, it's not what we sent over, but like
it's fire.
This shit's fire. Hop on. He's like, that's cool with me, bro, because I literally just he literally freestyled like a reference for it, and we just sent it. So it wasn't like anything mixed, nothing. It was just, and he just did that shit, and I was like, yo, this is crazy. Like, this is like first week of me getting a beat. We already like have a song done, and I was like, yo, like, I really didn't even try that hard yet. I literally was just like, I got free time. Let me listen to this first beat, and then from there, I'm like, yeah, we're definitely fucking doing this. Like, all I know. Fucking sat around. So all I know is the song that came out for people that don't know.
Original Proximity playlist song.
And that shit is a fucking masterpiece. And so they made that song, and like we held on to that for like a year. Damn. Because it was like, bro, that song was done like so early. Like the mixtape wasn't like the full idea wasn't even like there. I didn't have my like beats that I liked and who I want to submit them to type shit. Like it was just done. And then I did a show with Young Simeon, Flyboy Tarantino, and I asked Mikey, I was like, yo, can you come down? Because Mikey was living up north. And he's like, yeah, I can make that shit. And I was like, yo, since you're coming down, like, we should just, like, I'm going to throw Rico on the show too. Like, let's shoot a music video. Right. Mikey was like, yo, that's perfect because, honestly, I'm on probation. So, like, let's knock this shit out. I can't really be out there that long. And I'm like, all right, cool. So, all I know is just none of that was planned. It was just... Damn. Like, if you really look at the footage, it's all at the den. Like, we did the Young Simi Flyboy show, and everyone left. And I was like, I asked my brother, I'm like, yo, can you, like, help me put this together? I don't know what I want to do with this. Like, because I had, like, my storyline was, like, we're going to be in a motel. We're going to do this. We're going to do all this shit. But we didn't have the budget or the time or, like, anything. We had to ask special permissions or, like, the PO and, like, all that shit. It was just a lot. So Mikey was like, yo, I'm right here. I got an hour, like, before, like, I gotta be home. Like from what my PO like allowed me and shit. So I'm like, all right, we gotta think this. And he still got like a 3-hour drive around, like ahead of him and shit. So then like my brother was leaving. I was like, yo, like I really don't want to bother you for this, bro. But like
I need you right
I was
now.
like, I know you got storyboard vision and shit, and I need you to like help me. And I was like, we can't leave this area. It has to all be shot here. He was like, all right. And like I literally just told him what my idea was, and then we just put that together, bro. Like the 3 scenes from that are all in the same spot, low key. The scene that they're in the bench is right there in the back where we did the shows and shit. We just put the bench against the bush. So there was a bush in the background.
Use the whip and different
The
angles.
whip was literally parked where like I put the stage for the shows now. So I literally just parked the whip there. We just kept it dark so you can't like see that there's fucking grass and a fence behind the car really.
Damn.
And then the scene of them that's just their shadow with the light behind them, that's in the same position. We just put a light behind them so you can't see nothing, so it's just darkness. And then the room scene that then used to have a couch in it.
I remember, yeah.
So there used to be a couch right there, like just like lounging and shit like that. So like that was just shot at the couch.
Damn.
And from there we made All I Know. And I was like, bro, this song is so fucking beautiful. And we just held on to it. And Mikey's like, bro, I really want to drop this. I really want to drop this. And I was like, damn, bro. I was like, all right, let's tease it as a single. Because I got like 4 songs done now. And then, yeah, that just became a thing.
It's officially done, the mixtape.
No, there's 1 song that needs to be mixed.
Okay.
But that's it. That's the mixtape has, for the last 3-4 months, been waiting for
1 song?
1 song to get mixed.
That's crazy.
It's because, like, I'm, like, really picky with how this shit, like, turns out and shit. So it's, like, I'm rearranging the order of the song and the way it's made and shit. But it's going to be fire. Like, but, yeah, I just, life's happened. So I haven't had the freedom that I had back then. Like,
all the singles been bangers, though. All the singles been bangers.
Like, what I was doing was, like, I go to Rock Chamberlain's crib. Like, shout out Jarrock. I used to go to his crib, and he's the one helping me, like, mix and master the tape. Him and Mikey are the ones mixing and mastering the whole tape and shit. So, like, he stays by Galaxy. So, like, he's, like, Cutler Bay, Cutler Ridge, whatever, far as fuck Miami, and I'm over here in Pompano.
Right.
So we're trying to plan days that we're both free, and then I got to go make that hour and a half drive all the way to him so we could sit down together. I have all the stems ready, and I'm like, this is my vision of this song. Right. And he just fucking would touch that shit and just make that shit happen. That's so fire, like shout out to him to like help me out with that shit. And then like, you know, like everyone got their own shit. So like he's busy working on his project. He just did his duo project, Liquid Dinosaurs. That shit was fire. Yeah, he got his own shit. So it's like I try not to be annoying at the same time. It's like, you know, like
you gotta give like, people their time.
You show us love, we show you love. Like
but you don't want to abuse
basic, it. Yeah, but I'm also not trying to fucking like annoy the shit out of you on some shit. So then like Mikey would come by a lot, and I know Mikey's a fucking master of this shit, but like originally I was trying to keep only Jarrock touching the shit. Yeah. But it was just becoming too much of a headache, and it was just like, bro, like here I am a year later, and I haven't like done nothing with this tape that I've talked about. And Mikey offered, so then like I started sending certain songs over to Mikey, and Mikey was fucking that shit up. But now this last song is just like it's like the thing is I usually get to see these people a lot, so it's easier when I'm with you, right? Because it's like if you're doing this shit for me, I don't want to sit here and make corrections and it not make sense to you, or just make corrections and it's just like I'm annoying the fuck out of you, because it's like at the end of the day, like we're doing some homie shit right now, right? So it's just a lot of back and forth. So it's just I'm just kind of waiting to have the free time to sit with someone and do it, because this one I'm doing a lot of like changing around, yeah. But it's basically done. It's just I need this song to be like it got Ethereal on it, and Ethereal's like,
oh, okay, I know who Ethereal. Though he got a song with like Cardi and shit.
Like, he's kind of who made Cardi. Yeah. Like the beef with me. Yeah. Who got that's an Ethereal song featuring Playboy Cardi.
That's facts. Yep.
So like, damn, it's an Ethereal beat with Ethereal on it, and like bro, like Awful Records is kind of like what put me on to like underground rap. Perfect. So like literally, so before like all this, like let's classify it as internet rap. Before all this shit, I only listen to boom bap. Like, yeah, I'm talking about 20. I don't even know the year, bro, honestly. But like when when I was locked up and shit, I was like I'm going to Wynwood, because Wynwood's the only spot not playing like radio music. They was playing like jams, like throwback shit. Like I didn't even care if it was rap. They was just playing like the jams, bro. Right. Like, Wynwood was a whole different place
That
than
was
what
a
it
good.
is
That
now.
was that was a good time.
So like I'm going to Wynwood and we're like I'm inviting my homies out and we're blasting A Tribe Called Quest all the way down. We're blasting Wu-Tang. We're not listening to nothing else but that
That's fine.
at like max volume, and that's what I'm getting hyped to go out. Like no one's like my homies was looking at me like I was crazy, and I just wasn't fucking with like none of the new shit. That's like what I listened to. And then slowly, like, one of my boys showed me Joey Badass when he was, like, 17. And I was like, all right, I guess these new kids could, like, do some shit. You know, like, over here, I talking like I'm an old head and
Facts.
shit. Like, I'm not, like, fucking
Your
a couple
ears-
years older than
Your
him and
ears
shit.
just old.
Yeah, and I was just like, oh, look at these young whippersnappers and they're doing it. So I was like, Joey Badass kind of, like, all right, like, kind of, like, opened up my ears to, like, all right, let me, like, listen to people and not just assume this shit's going to be ass. And then I got into Action Bronson. And then Action Bronson, you know, Action Bronson got bars and shit, but Action Bronson also, like, he's, like, funny with it.
That's
and, like,
one of
he'll,
my
like,
favorite rappers.
yeah,
Well,
he'll talk his shit.
yeah.
My dog is named after this man now. I got a dog named Bronson.
That's dope.
Like, that's how that shit, like, bro, his whole personality, that fuck, that's delicious, like, all that shit. And I was like, yo, this is great. And then in the middle of all that, too, then, like, Father's era came where, like, he dropped, like, fucking Wrist. And I'm like, I'm fucking back when Sidebar was a fucking thing. I'd go to
gosh.
Wynwood and then I go to Sidebar. And, bro, I'd fucking, like, hear Sade play. And then they're fucking, like, blasting Father, like, right after Sade and shit. And I was just like,
Flip phone
yo,
Nokia and shit.
bro. And I was just like, yo, this is hard. But, like, and it's crazy because Nokia, like, I didn't hear that shit yet. I just knew Wrist. All I knew was Wrist. I'm like, all right, this is cool. Like, I could fuck with the vibe of this shit. But I wasn't, like, really listening to it. It was just some fun shit.
Some club shit.
And then, like, I remember I had to go to the courthouse for, like, a ticket or some shit I ain't pay. And my cousin came to visit from out of town. And she's like, do you listen to this guy, Father? And back then, like,
You didn't know
I
the
was
name.
fucking with Key as well.
Shout out to Key.
But, like, I was mixing them up. Like, I didn't know who was who type shit. And I thought Key was the one that made Wrist. But he's on Wrist, but he wasn't, like, you know? Like, I basically thought Key was Father and Father was Key.
Fact.
So then she was like, no, like, she's like, there's more than that. Like, you got to know there's more than that. And then I was like, all right, show me. And then we're, like, literally, like, in the waiting room of the courthouse with, like, a little ticket in her hand. And my cousin, like, with no shame, got the, like, max volume on her phone, like, all the way the fuck up and plays Nokia. And all I hear is the... And I was like, yo, what the fuck are you doing? And everyone's staring at us. And then the fucking beat just dropped. And I was like, I got caller ID. And I don't give up. And I was like, yo, this is crazy. I was like, yo, I went from like, yo, shut this shit down. I was like, yo, this shit is hard. I was like,
Nah, that's a
let's not
banger.
be them assholes. But like, when we get back in the car, definitely play this song.
But
This
I'm
sounds
the man
hard.
right now with my Moto X.
Yeah. So then I was just like, yo, this is hard. And then from there, like, bro, I just like stalked the Awful Records page. And it was just like, they had Abra and they had like Tommy Genesis and they had fucking Lord Narf and like all these people. And I was like, yo, this is crazy. Cause it was just like, I'm over here listening to just boom bap.
Right.
And I'm going to a whole different generation of shit. Talking about I don't listen to like new age rap and shit
And
like
just
that.
all the way tapped in with
And I'm just like, yo, this is the craziest concept. I'm like, I fucked with the name Awful Records because, you know, like, I'm still like on my boom bap shit. And I'm like, this is like awful music, but it's hard. So it's like, it's a funny way to play on it. And I was just like, yo, like, this shit is so great. And I'm like listening to all these artists and shit. Like, I'm fucking going to like Awful Records concerts and shit. And it's just like, it opened up a whole new world for me. Cause it's just like, Father had the craziest bars, but it was like, he was being funny with it. Like, he was being like silly with the shit, but it was just like the delivery, I guess, bro. Cause it's like certain shit, like fucking on Wrist. He was like gas guzzler. I remind her of a Hummer. She remind me of Corolla. And like, when I caught on to him, like, yo, that's fucking genius. I was like, who the fuck would say some shit like that? And I was like, I can see an old head saying it, like saying that, but they wouldn't say it like this.
that.
And I was like, I was like, I understand like this newer wave of shit now. Like I get it. If you got some bars or like a flow to it, then I was like, all right. And then from there, like, I just kept deep diving and I like Ethereal and Playboy Cardi and like all this shit. And like Ethereal like became like one of my favorites. So the fact that he's on this tape is like, so
It's
like
like
I
a
need
full
him on
circle.
the first version of this fucking tape. And that's why this tape is taking so long, because I need to make sure this shit is a masterpiece.
Hey,
Yeah, that's kind of
we the
the
people
one
are
for the
definitely.
mixtape to that whole shit. But yeah,
Nah, we're waiting
that's
for it,
why
though.
we're waiting for the shit, because Ethereal needs to be on the first, the Den and Friends
Well, they
tape.
heard,
I can't hold that one back.
they heard it here first. Then.
Yeah, Real shit.
Exclusive. Bro, we could do this all fucking day, bro. I appreciate you pulling up, man. I appreciate you showing love, man. I just want to say, you know, on behalf of Minds Wide, on behalf of Proximity FM, the whole team, though, whatever you need to promote, whatever you need us to shed light on, you know that we got you. You feel me? When the mixtape come out, we going to be banging that shit.
Nah, for sure, bro. I'm really aiming for January. I really hope for January.
We more than ready, man. We more than ready. Is there anything else that you want to let the people know to be on the lookout for before, you know, we...
I mean, bro, just pay attention to the den, honestly. Like, a lot of our shit be, like, last-minute drops, and people complain about that shit, but I'm, like, 1,000 projects ahead at a time. Like, I got so many projects, like, on hold and, like, on queue, and it's just, like, by the time I drop shit, it's just, like, all right, this is it. Like,
be ready.
Just be ready for this shit. So it's just, like, just really pay attention to our shit, honestly, because I try to make my shit as straightforward for everyone, and I know a lot of people get upset about some shit, but it's just... We try to deliver, like, as best as we can, but it's just, like, you also got to be just ready for this shit. Because it's, like, I mean, you could hear it here. Like, this is all, like, one man coming up with, like, all this shit at one time.
Hey.
And I appreciate all our fans and the entire community we built and, like, everything y'all have done.
Fact.
When Enter the Den comes back, Enter the Den is going to be a whole different thing, and it's going to be fucking humongous. Like, it's on hold right now because it's about to be something real big.
Well... They got to be ready for that, man. Artists, get your shit up. Drop some music, you know what I'm saying? Try to get on there. Like I said again, man, I appreciate you coming through fucking with us, man.
Appreciate you having me.
Yeah, we definitely got to do this again, bro. For sure, you know?
Yeah, not for sure. That was just like the tip of the iceberg or whatever them people say.
Exactly, man. And also, too, man, y'all make sure y'all go ahead, run the den up on Instagram, man. Y'all make sure y'all go hit the link, man. Y'all make sure y'all go ahead, cop something.
Yeah, at @the_den_, and we in Pompano Beach.
Yes, sir. Go ahead, run up all the archives, all the videos on the Den channel, all the videos on our channel. You already know what time it is, man. It's Gabe Avelli, Minds Wide, Florida Vibe Directory. Let's go.
This is Zanaya.
It's the righteous vigilante Jamon Creek, and you're tuning in to Minds Wide Open. Hey, yo, check it out. This is Namestream, never mainstream. You're tuning in to Minds Wide Open Media.
Shout out to the Florida Vibe Directory. You're now listening to the best playlist in South Florida.